Hi, my name is Sully and welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about all of the book to screen adaptations that are coming your way this fall and winter. So there are quite a lot. I believe we have about 20 that are coming literally between the end of July through to December, and there are so many more coming next year. I think the movie studios have finally really caught on that book to screen adaptations, book to movie, book to TV show adaptations are how they really capture audiences, and a lot of these look pretty gosh darn good. For any of the books that I have read that I'm anticipating the adaptations for, they look really accurate, they look really good. We won't really know until we see them, but without further ado, let's talk about it. These are going to be in chronological order, starting with the end of July. So starting off strong, we have Happiness for Beginners. So this is based off of the book by Catherine Center and is going to be premiering on Netflix as a movie on July 27th. So this looks really great. It's starring Ellie Kemper in the star role, and it's basically about a 32-year-old divorcee who goes out on this kind of wilderness camp for adults and starts hiking after her divorce. And it's all about kind of getting lost in the wilderness, reconnecting with yourself in order to kind of find your way back to who you are. So that one sounds really good. And then on the 28th, we have Good Omens Season 2. So this Season 2 is kind of a real surprise to anyone who's read the book. The book is basically encapsulated by all of Season 1, and there aren't any other sequels. So this second season is just kind of taking the reins and rolling with it. I'm pretty sure that Neil Gaiman, who's the author of the book, was also involved in the production of Season 2 and with the script. So that sounds pretty promising. The trailer looks really great. It's basically about a demon and an angel who've been kind of working for their superiors for the past couple millennia, and they kind of were rivals towards the beginning, but they've kind of become best friends in a way, and there is kind of a little twinge of romance that hopefully will be addressed in this new season. Then we get to August, and August is redonkulous. There are so many things coming out in August. So starting off on August 3rd, we have Heartstopper Season 2. This is based off of the Heartstopper graphic novel series by Alice Oseman. And Season 2 trailer literally just came out. It looks really accurate to the graphic novel. Alice Oseman, the creator, has been showrunner and working on the show as it's been released. So it's been pretty gosh darn accurate, and a lot of the scenes in the TV series are also directly taken off the pages of the book. This season looks like it's going to be really sweet and emotional. If you don't know, the series is about two boys in high school who fall in love, their romance, them finding themselves, all about self-discovery, identity, and their friend group. And that will be premiering on Netflix. Then on the 4th of August, we have Shortcomings, which will be premiering in theaters. This is based off of a graphic novel. I haven't read the graphic novel yet, but I'm planning to before the movie release and before I go see it in theaters. The film has Justin H. Min and Cherry Cola in the title roles. The novel chronicles the many failed relationships of Ben. He overall is pretty cynical and has not had a lot of luck in his past relationships. And overall, the graphic novel as well as the film deals with the struggles of being a young Asian American in American society. Then on August 10th, we have Love in Taipei. This will be premiering on Paramount Plus, and the trailer just recently dropped. This story is about Ever Wong, whose parents take her on an unexpected trip to Taipei for a cultural immersion program, changing her entire summer. And then already on August 11th, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue, which will be premiering on Amazon Prime. So I have read Red, White, and Royal Blue. I love it. I've seen the trailer. I've reacted to the trailer. So I'm very excited about this one, and this one's very anticipated for me. This story is about the son of the first female president of the United States and the Prince of Wales. The two of them have had some tense run-ins. They don't really like each other, but they kind of have to pretend to be friends and pretend to be allies in order to repair international relations. So as an international affairs scholar myself, and having just completed my master's degree in international affairs, I'm very excited about this romance and very excited about the adaptation for it. So I can't wait to watch that one on August 11th. Then we have The Last Voyage of Demeter. So this is also coming out on August 11th, and this one will be premiering in movie theaters. So this one is a little bit more of a fantasy horror, and it is based off of the story of Dracula. This is about how Dracula's unholy presence on a merchant ship named Demeter has doomed the vessel as it sails on its route from Carpathia to London. There are some horror elements, there are some fantastical elements in it, and it looks like it's gonna be a wild ride. Then on August 18th, we have Blue Beetle premiering in theaters. So this is one of the newest DC Universe superhero movies. And of course, it's based off of the Blue Beetle comic books. So I haven't read any of the DC comic books. I haven't really watched many of the DC superhero movies. I've seen basically all of the Marvel ones, but I still have to dip my toe into DC. However, this trailer actually looks like it's going to be good. So the past DC trailers, there just hasn't really been much heart in the characters. They don't really look interesting or well-rounded. This one does, so I'm intrigued and I'm interested in watching this one. So this is about Jaime Reyes, and he is suddenly in possession of an ancient relic scarab, which is actually alien biotech. So when the scarab chooses Jaime to be its host, and the story goes on from there. Then we have 2 releases in September. So in September on the 8th, we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. So this was initially slated for a release last year, but then got pushed and is now coming out in September of this year. So this story takes place in El Paso, Texas in 1987. It is about 2 Mexican-American teenagers who meet, become friends, and it is about their struggles with their identities, their sexualities, and their family relationships. I personally haven't read this book, but I look forward to reading it before the film's release. I've heard really amazing things about this story, and I can't wait to see it represented on screen. And this one will be released in theaters. So then next on September 15th, we have A Haunting in Venice, and it will be released in theaters. This story is based off of the Agatha Christie novel Halloween Party. This is, I think, now the 3rd film in this kind of detective Agatha Christie books to movie series. So it's always with the same detective, and he's been the detective in the past 2 movies, which was Murder on the Orient Express and then Death on the Nile. I still have to see Murder on the Orient Express. I heard it wasn't good when it came out, but then I watched Death on the Nile and I really liked that one, so now I want to go back and see the other one. Death on the Nile was really good, so I really want to watch this one, but it looks really scary, and I'm not a scary kind of person. So this is basically about a possession that happens in Venice. This Belgian sleuth investigative detective goes to investigate a murder after he comes to this seance party where possession takes place. He's not convinced. He thinks it's all malarkey, but someone has died, so he's on an investigation. We have 1 release in October, and it is A Lesson in Chemistry. This will be coming out October 13th, and it will be premiering on Apple TV+. This has Brie Larson in the title role, and she executive produced for it as well. This story starts off in the 1950s, and Elizabeth's dream is to become a chemist, but society sees women in different roles and wants to put her in a box of baking and cooking. She has other ideas in mind. I also am looking forward to reading this one before the series release. We have 3 releases in November, starting off on November 2nd with All the Light We Cannot See, which will be coming out on Netflix as a series. This is a classic World War II story, so it starts off with a blind French girl and a German soldier whose paths cross during World War II. I haven't read this one. I've heard it has critical acclaim. I'm not sure I'm going to read it before the movie. I've read many World War II stories, and I'm kind of over the genre, but I do look forward to watching the series and seeing if it's any good. Then on November 3rd is probably one that many people are familiar with, which is Dune Part 2. So this is the 2nd part of the Dune movie. The first one came out, I think, in 2021, if I'm correct. And this one will be continuing the story with Paul Atreides uniting with the Freeman and seeking revenge for his family. And Dune Part 2 will also be released in theaters. And on November 17th, we have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which will be coming out in theaters. And this story is a prequel to the Hunger Games series, and it starts off with a young President Snow during his time and his experience being a mentor during the Hunger Games. I started reading this book and hated it and decided to hold it off. Now that the movie's coming out, I might push myself to finish reading it. Now we have 2 more confirmed releases for this year in December. So on December 15th, we have the release of Wonka, which of course is based off of the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This will be released in theaters, and it has Timothée Chalamet as the character of young Willy Wonka. So this sees a young Willy Wonka in his 20s kind of starting off. There is this like rivalry going on in his hometown with the chocolatiers and the candy makers, and Wonka kind of finds his own in the candy making business. And then on a bold December 25th release, we have The Color Purple. So this is a remake and a reimagining of the original The Color Purple film. However, this one is specifically based off of the musical The Color Purple, so there are as well songs throughout. And this has Halle Bailey as well as Sierra in the title role. The story is about the lifelong struggles of African American women living in the South in the early 1900s. And then last of all, we have a few films and TV series that have been announced for 2023, should be coming out in 2023, but we don't have an exact release date yet. So it's likely that most of these will be coming out soon. Some of them might be pushed to early 2024. So first, with a definite 2023 release, we have The Flat Share. This series has already premiered in the United Kingdom as well as Australia and possibly New Zealand last summer, and it'll be coming to US Paramount Plus for subscribers sometime summer of 2023. So I thought it was going to be coming out in July of 2023, but it hasn't hit the platform yet, so possibly in August. This is an adaptation from a book by the same name, which basically chronicles the stories of 2 people who are sharing the same very small 1-bedroom apartment, but they have 2 different work shifts. So the male main character who's renting out the apartment, he is a night shift worker. He works nights, so he will only be sleeping in the beds during the daylight. And the other character, she works a classic 9 to 5, so she'll be sleeping in the bed at night. So they share the same bed, it's a romance, things unfold. Then we have Bridgerton season 3 based off of the Bridgerton books. This will be coming to Netflix sometime in the latter half of this year. It's likely to be December. I know there's some rumors and some other dates floating around. It'll be coming out sometime later this year for sure. And then we have 2 films which have been slated to come out end of 2023, but there haven't been any news updates or updated release dates since like January and March of this year, so it's unclear. There might be a surprise trailer drop and date release announcement at any day now, or they might just be moved now to 2024 for unknown production delays. Who knows? The first of which is the Uglies adaptation, which is coming to Netflix. So this was a very popular young adult series in like the 2010s and the early 2000s, I think. I haven't read this one. It's by Scott Westerfield, and it basically imagines a world where a compulsory operation wipes out any physical differences, any blemishes, and makes everyone beautiful in the society. And this film has Joey King as the protagonist role. Then we have the Turtles All the Way Down film, which will be coming to previously HBO Max, now just Max. At some point this year, again, it might be moved to 2024. This is an adaptation from John Green's novel, and basically the plot of it is it's kind of like a murder mystery-ish, but still it's kind of the classic coming-of-age teen story, and it deals with a lot of themes of really intense anxiety as well as OCD. The main premise of the story is about a young girl, Aza, who is about 16 years old. She's in high school and she has really severe OCD, and it manifests in her constantly being worried about germs and going to extreme lengths in order to make sure that she is not contaminated. So there's a lot of talk of compulsions related to that as well. I personally couldn't finish the novel as I have severe anxiety and I have OCD, so it was a little too real for me, so I could not finish it, but I look forward to watching the film and seeing if I fare any better. So those are all of the book to movie and book to series adaptations that are coming at the latter half of this year. There are so many more that have been announced for next year and so many that have already come out this past year, so I look forward to talking more about those in another video. Please let me know down below what you're most looking forward to watching. If you read any of these, if you're looking forward to the adaptations, I would love to chat with you down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.